We are failing our young people. We are creating a country that doesn't represent them. Did you learn about politics at school, about voting at school, about the changes that are made at school? I don't think you did, really. Not because you're looking stupid. I mean, you are looking stupid, but it's not because of that. We get told all the time that people just weren't told about this stuff at school. And it matters. It matters because... Listen, some children's author was on the radio the other day, and he was saying how wonderful it is that we read to our children before they go to school. And that's great, and we all love reading. And then we want people to read when they're older. For pleasure, reading for pleasure, that's the thing. And that makes sense. We want them to do it, so we teach them to do it. We want our children to wash and be hygienic. So what happens is we talk to them about washing and being hygienic, and when they go to school they have lessons about washing and being hygienic and about how their body's going to change, and everyone hates those lessons and it's a bit cringe, but we teach you to do it. And then it comes to voting. When we don't do it, we don't teach you anything. We don't teach you. Like, if your school follows national curriculum to the core, you might have a lesson on British values that talks about the brilliance of our democracy, but there's nothing in the curriculum about voting. There's nothing in the curriculum about the joys of politics. And you're only going to vote if you're interested. And we don't make people interested. We don't teach people about it. And then we expect this wonderful transformation. On your 18th birthday, you're expected to suddenly develop an interest and the desire to vote. And of course that doesn't happen. And then everyone goes, oh, young people aren't voting. It's like, of course they're not. And then do you know what people do? They blame the young people. I've seen it. I've seen it so many times. I've been on TV shows debating with people about why people aren't voting, and they're like, "Oh, these young people, they're just vacuous. Oh, they're so silly on their TikToks." No, it's because you haven't done your job. You haven't taught them anything. We need to change what we're doing. Clearly, we need to change what we're doing. And for me, I've worked with schools before, since SP, since I left teaching, a weekly topic of debate that each tutor group, every tutor group is given. And the tutor is given some questions to ask the young people every day. And then you're just creating a conversation. You're finding something that's interesting and engaging and getting people used to talking about issues. That's all it takes. It doesn't have to be a citizenship class. It's just about chatting. And it's about social mobility here as well, because kids from certain backgrounds will have more chat at home about current affairs, about what's going on, about the issues of the day. And kids from other backgrounds won't have that chat. And then, do you know what? If those kids who don't have that chat grow up and don't vote, and the kids who have had that chat, those chats do grow up and vote, which is likely, the country skews towards what the people who have those chats want, and away from what the people who don't have those chats want. Because that's how democracy works. And that's why, if we're not doing it at school, we are failing. We are failing our young people. We are creating a country that doesn't represent them. And you know what happens when people don't feel represented? They find groups they feel do represent them. Look at the riots that we had last summer. This is what happens when we don't just give people an interest in these things. It matters for our country. It matters for individual social mobility. If you grow up in a poor household, you should be able to go to, let's say, Oxford and feel like you can fit in. And in order to fit in, you need to be able to talk about these things, or else you're going to drop out. We're not supporting people. It just matters in every way. And all it would take is a concerted effort from a school to have a chat during registration time, or in primary school, just have a chat. Because I know that they spend all day with one teacher, so they've got to have time for a chat in primary school. What else are they doing? Like cutting stuff out. My fiance's a primary school teacher. Lazy, I think primary school teachers are. Not like secondary school teachers. They're clever and good looking. Here's my plan as well, though. And I've certainly got in trouble again on TV for saying this. I want people to vote in year 9. I want them to vote when they are 13 years old. This votes at 16 thing is all well and good, but all it means is that 2/5 out of all young people get to vote in a general election earlier than if it was at 18. If we made it year 9, if we made it voting at 13, and you made the polling station in the school, and you take every class to the polling station, you don't force them to vote, because that's wrong. I don't believe in forcing people to vote. But you take them to the polling station, and then there's local elections every year as well. So they vote every year, or 4 out of 5 years. Some years there's no locals in your area, but whatever. If you vote 4 out of 5 years, voting is what you have been taught to do. You will read for pleasure. You will smooch safely. You will shower occasionally. You will eat some fruit and vegetables. These are the things you've been taught, and now we can add voting into that. And you're going to vote because you're interested and you're engaged, and you hear conversations about HS2 and should we spend the money on HS2 going there, and you have an opinion on it. If you have opinions, if you are used to discussing opinions, you will want to vote because there will be candidates putting up ideas around those opinions, and it's really easy. I find it so easy to vote most of the time because I know what I think, and I see someone go, not you, I see someone go, oh yeah, you're closest, let's do that. We must never blame young people for not voting. It is our fault that they don't. We've got to do better. And we should probably have votes at 13. Yeah, I think votes at you think, I mean, yeah, why not, eh? Votes at 13. You might have just suggested that people aged 13 don't know enough about the world to vote. Which is a point that people say to me frequently whenever I mention this. Have you met many 21-year-olds? Idiots, a lot of them. 13 in school talking about it, preparing to vote, you're going to be better prepared than anyone else in the country for that general election. It's amazing. Right, I think I've ranted at you enough for now. I'll be back on Saturday for a much more structured and probably better video as the next episode of the SP Show continues, 10 a.m. Saturday morning. Until then, love you, bye.